Hi guys, and welcome to another video here on trainworld.com. It's been a really long time since I've done one of these open BVE videos, but I'm excited to revisit my roots and get back into doing something I love, and that is my favourite pastime. I've actually been playing open BVE quite a lot over the past few weeks, but this is my first open BVE video in quite a long time, so I'm very excited to get back into it. We are on the northern line, as you can see, which is one of my favourite lines to do. I love the northern line, as you guys know. It's really well detailed and really well like refined and implemented into this game, which is really good because, you know, when you have a line that is really well detailed, you know, you forget you're in quite an old simulator from the 90s, and you know, there are some lines that are absolutely like, you don't want to play on open BV, you don't want to go into the exterior camera, you don't want to do external views and whatnot, but when you get a line that is really good, you know, you can, you know, look around and it will look really good. This line specifically is made for open BVE, so everything like BVE4, BVE2, you know, you can pair it to your computer and, you know, it's good. You know, all the textures are good. I do believe there's some bug with this map, that it comes later in the route, but for the most part, it's, you know, all the textures are done the right way round. The stations look realistic, and all of the external views kind of match up to the kind of correct scenario and general kind of term of this train, basically. So I really wanted to do an open BVE video, like I think a few days ago, maybe a week ago, but due to technical difficulties, basically, the reason is this laptop I'm playing on is really old. It's from 2018. Obviously it's kind of compatible with this game because it's from the 90s, but obviously due to the old software, this isn't actually the newest version. I do believe this is BVE, so it might not be the best. I have actually played on it a couple of times, you know, just to make sure that everything kind of matches up and is still the same, and is, you know, like, you know, I think it's all the same. There's no like bugs in the map or anything, so I think, you know, I think it's fine. But with the northern line, you know, it's one of the lines I love as well because, you know, you can do the full route, which is actually on, I think, quite a few lines now, like the Victoria, the Bakerloo, the northern. It's really good because some of the lines are like demos or like really short routes, like Gloucester Road to St James's Park on the District line, and Ealing Broadway to Liverpool Street on the Central line. I know that trains do go from Ealing Broadway to Liverpool Street in real life, but in terms of BVE, it's just a demo, basically. But the Northern Line has the kind of full scenarios, which is Kennington to High Barnet, which is the route we're doing today, Edgware to Morden via Bank, and then Edgware to Kennington via Charing Cross as well. So you've got a nice little selection, basically, nice little selection of it. And you can also, you've got two trains you can use for open BVE. You've got the 1995 unrefurbished, which is actually the train we're using today, and the 1995 refurbished. I much prefer using the unrefurbished, because when you're like kind of going around, I did say that everything matches up, and it does on both trains, but the thing is, all of the kind of time zones, it's more realistic to the route. Obviously now today it's all, you know, the Northern Line uses the 1995, and you know, it's refurbished, so obviously, you know, the trains, but like compared to the route in open BVE, the unrefurbished is kind of correct. So obviously this is set in 1995, so this is the time of, you know, when Eurostar went to Waterloo. Obviously now it's long gone to King's Cross and a couple of other things, so I'd highly recommend using the unrefurbished over the refurbished if you want that extra bit of realism. Anyway, so we're here at Kennington, in our lovely 1995 stock cab, and I also like that it's kind of taken the kind of hint of like kind of, you know, the area of London. So this is kind of themed off the Northern Line cab. But it's also North London Line. We're in Kennington, so this is essentially kind of northwest London. So this is the correct kind of cab. If this was like Bristol to Paddington or somewhere, it would definitely be like a country end cab. But no, this is London. Like, you've got this fancy, it's just a control manual, basically, just shows you everything you need to know about the route, basically, which is kind of nice if you forget a control, which is I'm famous for doing. You just go there. Look, with most routes you have to, I think, go out of them and look at the manual, which does take time, and then you have to restart the route, so it's a bit of a pain in the arse. but with this it's just nice. You can just go over here, look, and yeah, it's good. So what we have to do is we turn on the saloon lights, which are the carriage lights. With most trains they're controlled automatically, but with this you turn them on with 6, which is again quite realistic. And now if we get onto the exterior camera by pressing F2, we can just kind of go out. I still haven't learned the full extent of these camera controls, so bear with me. But then we have to, where is it? So what we can do now is we can set up our destination board by pressing F4. So you just press it once and then it will lock into place. There you go. High Barnet via Charing Cross. I do believe it automatically takes a hint of the route you're doing, which is good. And then now if we go out here, you can see our train here in Kennington. Obviously this is the old unrefurbished, but actually, you know, despite being the older train, I actually kind of like it. I think the interior's, you know, really nice. I think, you know, the black and the yellow goes really well. I think I prefer the refurbished trains, but it is true I really love this interior. It's really, you know, really refined and nostalgic basically. So yeah, it's really nice. And you can see obviously it's, you know, the unrefurbished. It hasn't got these kind of, or yeah, it has got the door button to press. Obviously back in the day the Northern Line trains had the door indicator buttons on the side of the door. When I think the trains got refurbished, they were actually, I think, removed and they put a black indicator over it. So that's, you know, you don't have them. I think they, you know, because basically the driver operated, and now it's, you know, the Northern Line is driven by ATO, but back then it was all in full speed manual, but the driver operated the door, so they kind of thought that was a bit pointless basically. And obviously I'm a bit surprised you haven't got it. It does kind of lack a little bit of detail. Like the dot matrix is there, but it's static. It doesn't work like on the Jubilee or Bakerloo line. It doesn't work. You haven't got the safety thing, the safety stickers on the doors, and you also haven't got the safety alarm thing on the side of the train, as you can see, but whatever. If we go out here, you can see this is Kennington Station. It's pretty well modelled, to be honest. I think, you know, the kind of artistry and like kind of just the prosthetics of this station is like very well, I think, done. I don't know if Kennington Station was ever refurbished, but I think, you know, just it looks well done, and it looks, you know, that's again, you know, people, you know, when you take time to do these kind of good, you know, detailed routes, it does make it, because it shows that they put in time and the effort. And, you know, the older the line, you know, it becomes less easy. But with this, it's, you know, this was the first, I think, route made for open BVE, so I think it was quite hard to do this. But this is yeah, you know, it's really nice. You know, you can look anywhere you want. Anyway, let's go on to the external camera so we can do a little kind of departure as of when. Let's get back in here first and set up the train. Like, what I like about this Northern Line train is it's very nice, it's very easy. It's probably the easiest line on open BVE. With that said, it's also very easy to set up the train and use. So all you do is you press F to put the reverser in forward, and then Z to get out emergency brake. You can also access the timetable, as you can see, by pressing Control T, which basically tells you everything. I don't need that because I know the Northern Line at the back of my hand, but you know, it's there if you want it. Anyway, let's get back onto the external camera. We'll get the stand close the doors announcement, and then we'll be on our way.
This train is about to depart. Please mind the door.
Lovely. Love those kind of old school announcements. They're really nice. I really love them. As we depart, also love the softness, like the sounds in open BVE are just, they blow me away. They're so, you know, the detail might not be too good, but you know, if you've got a route with, you know, good sounds, it's, you know, it really makes it. Slowing a little bit down here because we're over, I think we need to be at 45, I do believe. There we go, I think we're at 45 now. These trains, I do believe, I think they have a speed of 66 miles an hour, I do believe. I think because I think they can, they can maybe we can go up to 67, or they could probably just about go up to 70, to be honest. But then again, London Underground trains, they're not really made for speed. They're obviously they're underground. I mean, yes, they can go fast and whatnot, but they're not mainline trains. But it's really funny because, when you're in an underground train in the carriage and you're going through a tunnel, and I think a few other people have said this online as well, when you're going through a tunnel, it looks from the interior view, it looks like you're going really, really fast. You're probably going up a speed of about 35, 40 miles an hour anyway, but, it often looks faster than you are going. But then when you go, when you're outside on a tube train, it looks very, it doesn't look like you're going very fast. So, yeah, it's interesting. You can see these TVs. I don't think I don't think they work in real time, but they don't, because if they did, it would be timing 30 years or something. But they do. They work how they should. They tell you when the doors are open. I think the one on the right tells you when the doors are open because it's on, and then the one on the left basically tells you is all the cameras and stuff like that. The door lights, I think the open door lights are yellow. On most trains they are blue, on most mainline trains, and then underground trains they're yellow. Red is still kind of the same with the kind of open door, closed door, kind of just to let you know when they're open and stuff. So yeah, as we enter our first station, which is Waterloo, change for the Bakerloo line. But it does have automated announcements, which is good. You don't have to listen to my atrocious voice. This Northern Line has really good brakes, actually. Perfect, there we go. As you can see, the era isn't really modern, because if I just go and show you, you can see Eurowings up there. Eurowings, mainline, also mainline international service. So obviously now today it would just be international. But these platforms look good. This is actually what the platforms look like in real life, actually. So yeah, they've done well there. Let's get our camera into this second carriage. There we go. It looks very nice when you do that. Very nice, the interior view. I think on train sim you actually do get an interior camera, but on OpenBV it's nice that you can kind of put your camera in this compartment. The next station is Embankment. Change for the Circle and District lines, and wait, you can change for the I think you can change for the Embankment. It's really funny actually, because obviously, as you guys know, on this Northern Line map it has a feature where you can kind of lock the front and or back doors as of when. So you can kind of do that. It's nice because it cuts out the front double leaf or back double leaf doors. But I kept in all of my OpenBV videos, I kept doing the wrong station. I kept thinking Charing Cross was Embankment, so I kept doing it at Embankment, and then when we came into Charing Cross, I was like, oh, holy shit! So funny. Now bear with me, I'm not very good at these interior approaches. There we go. I think, let's see how I did. Let's just see. Oh, not bad actually. Not bad. That's actually not bad. I think the front door is a little bit. Oh, the front cab is a little bit over, but all of my doors are on the platform, so that's fine. I'll take that. Anyway, so yeah, what was that feature I was talking about? I think all of you kind of know the kind of the Northern Line feature, because it's pretty, it's a pretty unique feature. And it would be nice to see that installed on other lines, because I think now today, they've kind of extended some of the platforms, but then like, because obviously, you know, there's some on the subsurface lines, which, you know, on the Northern Line is, I kind of feel like it's a bit weird, because the Northern Line is, you know, the trains are only 6 cars anyway, and I'm like, who designed these platforms? And, you know, essentially kind of like, because basically, you know, I'd say the Bank branch of the Northern Line is the busiest. But the, you know, the Charing Cross, you know, even like now, like, I mean, you know, in rush hour periods, I mean, it's like 6 o'clock at the time of filming this. So, you know, like even now, like the Charing Cross branch does get busy. So, you know, like it's interesting, like that, you know, they would on the Northern Line they would have a platform that is, you know, devoiding capacity basically, because even, you know, like as a train, like the Northern Line is 6 carriages, which already kind of decreases the amount of capacity it's able to handle, which is a problem in itself. So I find that a little bit surprising that they have issues. So now I'm going to quickly, where is it? I'm going to go out and show you where, like, so as you can see, the front door is a bit too far ahead in the tunnel, and then if I go to the back of the train, obviously it's not a problem down there, as you can see, but it's just at the front, carriage is slightly over. So what we do is, as you can see, you see cut front door right, you press 0. And then if I go out and show you, look at that, look at my handiwork. So yeah, that basically just kind of like closes, shuts the front door, the front right door, because this station can't accommodate that platform. I like that. I really do actually like that. It's not, you know, I mean, I'm talking kind of open BVE, but I guess it's kind of like a good feature to have in real life, because obviously the Northern Line is quite a small line anyway, and it, as I say, it really does, you know, cause a bit of a blow to it, because it decreases, you know, as I say, you know, Charing Cross is a busy station. It's, you know, home to 2 underground lines, I'd say the busiest national rail network in London. And you know, it's also attached to, like, you know, it's near Westminster Abbey. It's near like other underground stations as well. So it would definitely benefit from, you know, from like an extension. But then again, you know, the Northern and Bakerloo are 2 very old lines. So you know, it's definitely, it's not really, I wouldn't say it's doable. Yeah. But it's definitely an interesting idea to think about, and like, you know, because like you know, the overground, if you were to do that on overground platforms, then I guess it wouldn't be too much of an issue. Obviously it's a different story with these underground platforms. So yeah, so what we have to do is we need to unlock that, and now we can get going. Beautiful. Well, yeah, but yeah, it's a good feature to have in Open BVE. I don't know if the 1995 stock ever had selective door operations, basically where they could close, like, I guess, the set of doors in one carriage and then leave them open in another. I don't know if they ever had that on the trains. So yeah, I'm not sure. I know the A stock did, because the A stock was, again, quite a long line, but I don't know about the 2009 stock, 1995 stock, because the 2009 stock does have it, but I don't know, it'd be interesting to install it on the 1995 stock, but then again, it would probably kind of like, again, decrease capacity. There we go. There's the square. Slightly overran there, but it's fine. But yeah, it would be interesting to have. It's nice to have Open BV, because I think it's like, again, another station. I think we have to do it again at Camden Town, so it would be, you know, interesting to see, because I think it's also on the other side of Camden Town. So it would be good to see, you know, kind of the differences. Actually, I think Camden Town you can kind of I think you can kind of just about get away with not doing it. I'm not too like the platforms at Camden Town is like interesting because if you go all the way, you can fit all of your doors on the platform. But then the front door is kind of like it's kind of. If you do that, it will kind of, the front door will go past the barrier, and then you won't be able to, like, obviously passengers wouldn't be able to get off. So I think you kind of do have to stop a little bit further back, which is kind of annoying. Like, it's a bit annoying because, like, obviously you could stop there, you know, stop at the front, but you can't because of the barrier. I'm gonna show you now. Like, see, where is it? Yeah, here we are. So Camden Town, these platforms are a little bit stretchy. So as you can see, if like you go like over, if you go over like here, you can see if we were to stop here, the front door would be but past the edge of the thing, so passengers wouldn't be able to like get out there. But then again, if you stop too far back, the door would be over the edge of the platform. So yeah, Camden Town is definitely a bit of an awkward station. But I think, you know, kind of the whole of the Northern Line is, you know, awkward in places, because like I don't know, like I don't understand the point of some of these Northern Line branches. Like the new Battersea extension was meant to like kind of get on top of the capacity situation and increase capacity. It's literally done diddly squat, basically. All it's done is kind of increase congestion, because now the Charing Cross branch used to go to Morden, all the way through like Waterloo, Kennington, and then down to like Clapham Junction and then Morden. Now it doesn't do that, but it does go to Battersea. And now what has that done is, because they still have trains terminating at Kennington, it gets a bit awkward, because like we've got trains terminating at Kennington, and in fact actually 70% of the trains do terminate at Kennington, and then 30% go to Battersea. It's just a complete mess. In my opinion, what they would be better off doing is like blocking off one of the interchanges, like Euston or like Camden Town, essentially. Because then like there'll be more like kind of capacity for trains. Like Camden Town, actually no, Camden Town is like probably like important, because like if I go out, if you see like some of these like platforms like Goode Street, you know, I can kind of, you know, I can barely you know, fit my train on the platform. Like if I muck that up, you know, all of my doors are on the platform, but as you can see, all of like, you know, if I underrun or overrun, like I am fucked, because like it's not like you don't have a lot of freedom with some of these northern stations, which is, you know, is not a problem for now because they're adapted to the size of the train, but you know, like it would be good to like extend Northern Line trains to maybe 7 cars, but then you have the whole thing of extending platforms as well, which then also comes into, you know, like capacity, blocking off like something like Camden Town, which then, you know, because it also has short platforms, that would be good, because, you know, like the platforms are not too short, you know, there aren't going to be like too many people. But then again, Camden Town is, you know, it's important to have a tiny bit of connectivity between those two branches, because, you know, it's like, because basically, you know, like, again, the Northern Line is pretty confusing. You know, for like tourists coming into the city, it's quite hard to work out. And I thought the New York subway was hard to do. So, you know, like the Northern Line is definitely not one of those easy lines to do. So you know, like Camden Town is important to have that connectivity. But then Euston, I kind of feel like with Euston, they would be good to like kind of block off Euston for the Charing Cross branch, the Bank branch, and then the Charing Cross branch, and then block off Kennington for the Bank branch, and then just have the Charing Cross, so it kind of balances it out. I'm not too sure. It'd be an interesting idea, maybe. Anyway, let's get back. Where is it? Shall we go into one of the, where is it now? Let's go into this camera here. and depart.
Train is about to depart. Please mind the doors.
I love these, I love those announcements on the Northern Line. I just love, like, they flow so well, and I do believe that's actually voice Celia. I think, because most of the Underground lines, I think they had voice Anne do all of the announcements, which she, like, I think there were different versions of her as well. Like, she did the C stock announcements, and the, like, but, like, the ones on the D stock, they were so nice, it so flowed really well. But then the ones on the Piccadilly line, it was so, like, it still used it, like, the next station is so-and-so, and so, like, it's just, she really goes in deep there, it's not nice. While on the South Western Railway, like, they use Celia, but she's so annoying on the Class 701s. Like, the next station is, it just sounds so rehearsed and just so not nice. I just don't really like it. Right, let's get back. There we go, perfect.
This station is Euston, Charing Cross branch. Change here for southbound Northern Line service via that from platform 6, Victoria Line and Main Line Intercity and Suburban Rail services.
Oh, lovely. Love those. Like, those announcements, I'm just saying, like, I think they're Celia as well, but they just sound so much nicer than the ones. I think it's because, like, the ones on the South Western Railway, I think they're actually slowed down a little bit. So they sound really annoying, but the ones on the Northern Line are actually, like, normal paced. So it's really nice to hear those announcements. They just sound so much better than they do on the South Western Railway network. I don't know why. But the Jubilee line announcements, they still sound like, they just sound like all over the, like, they're so bad because they're, like, cut out in places. Like, they're just, like, so, like, they're so, like, this train terminates at Stratford, and it's like a few seconds later, and I'm like, you know, get it over with. It's just really monotonous and really kind of like stuttery, and the Jubilee line is very modern. They've actually updated the announcement at Bond Street to this kind of better, sped up announcement, which says, the next station is Bond Street, change for the Central and Elizabeth line. Like, it just sounds, I think, you know, these trains, it just sounds so annoying when you kind of slow the announcements down and just, like, hinder them a little bit, because they're designed to just deliver a message. And that's why, I don't like them on the Great Western Railway. I think they're really annoying. The next station announcements, I just really don't like them. But the ones on the Northern Line are perfectly good. I think they're really nice. Actually, they've updated the terminating announcement at Battersea. They've actually updated that to a really annoying one that goes, this is a Northern Line train terminating at Battersea Power Station. I think they should have just stuck with the original announcements, because I like the one that says, this is a Northern Line train terminating at Morden. I think that one sounds so much better in comparison, because it's just so much, like, it's so, like, it's a lot more, like, human. I understand they're pre-recorded messages, but when you sound like they're much more human, they just sound so much better. I prefer it when they sound like normal pace. I'm quite picky with these announcements. It's so funny because I actually wouldn't go on the Central Line, like, for ages because of the announcements, because I didn't like the one that said, like, this train terminates at Epping or whatever it is. It just sounded so annoying. But I think they've changed it now to a man, so I think it might be okay. Right, so the next station is where is it now? There we go, Camden. The next station is Camden Town. So I do believe that is the one with the. I do believe that is the one with the short platform. So we're just going to have to be really on the ball, because I think we do stop a little bit further back in terms of like the stopping area, so I just think we need to be really on the ball with that. Yeah, you can see this, you know, these kind of platforms are like really, these are the issues here. More, a bit more. I think that's good. But yeah, now if I go and show you to the back of the train, I'm just going to go and show you. You can see the door is a bit, it's like kind of hanging off the end of the platform, so it's like, you know, you kind of just need to like, I think let me just check. Actually, I don't think we need to do anything. I think no, there's not a control for it. I think it just locks on its own. Let me just let me just check. I'm not sure. Oh, these camera controls, I just hate them. Certainly not. Yeah, this one, this door locks for itself, which I think is a tiny bit more realistic. Yeah, it's more realistic, because obviously in real life I think they would just lock themselves. So yeah, but you can see like, oh, I could have gone, yeah, I could have gone to the end, but then my front door would have been over the marker, so I think, you know, and then like I wouldn't have been able to like open it comfortably, so it's fine. There we go. Right, let's get going. Oh yeah, I'm just trying to. Oh, I don't mind. I can't do an exterior camera thing because my camera follows the train. Because the camera is basically attached to the front carriage. It's like the center point. So when I move the train, it will like follow the train, which is why I can actually do. I do believe, yeah, I can do like a flyby camera, like a type of thing, which is pretty cool. Actually, there's no kind of flyby cam thing, but I can use the track camera, and I can kind of do a kind of track. There you go. Look, yeah, that looks so cool. Yeah, I think there's a couple of points on the route that you can actually do that. So yeah, that's nice. I like doing that. Next station is Kentish Town. Obviously, where you change for Thames Link to Luton Airport. Is that yeah, I think that is Old Capital FM. Wow, I haven't seen them in ages. I like how these stations kind of have like the kind of lighting in these stations are really nice. You get some of these open BV stations that are way too dark. There we go, perfect. Let's go here. Lovely stuff. And then if we go, where is it? There we go, we can do an external departure. I remember it was so awkward because one of these, I think one of the videos I was going like, I did not know how to do the external camera. I was like kind of constantly pressing buttons because I didn't know how to like use it, but now I do. That was so awkward. But I still haven't worked out these camera controls. Like, it's really funny with OpenBVE, like, you've got, like, they keep updating the software, but they don't, like, update the lines and stuff. It's really funny because they don't do that. I don't know why they keep updating the software. If they kept updating these lines, we'd probably have the Elizabeth line right now. Because basically they do an update every month, but they don't update lines, or they don't update basically the routes or anything, which is a bit weird. I think the last update might have been 2017 or 2018. So yeah, I'm just cruising, because on these unrefurbished trains there's no point, like, I don't know if there is in real life, but like on these trains these trains are, I understand they're not designed to go fast, but I think these trains do struggle to get up to like 40 or 50 miles an hour, even though they can go at a speed of like 70. So So yeah, I just always coast.
This station is Tufnell Park. This train terminates
There we go.
at High Barnet.
Tufnell Park. Yeah, I think that was a good stop. And as you can see, both of my TVs are open and the left indicator door is open, which is cool. Let's get back in, wherever it is, I think. In here? Yeah, I think in here will do. Anyway, let's stand clear of the doors, please.
This train is about to depart. Please mind the doors.
Lovely. It does take quite a long time to start up these trains, so yeah. As you can see, you don't have the obviously the safety stickers on the doors, like obviously you're meant to have on all underground trains today. But I like how they've gone on these trains. Obviously they don't have it anymore, but I like how they've gone for, like, as you can see, I like how they've gone for black seating for symbolism. That's kind of cool. Obviously most underground, like, they're meant to, I kind of feel like they're meant to have the correct kind of pole colour for the correct coloured coloured trains. But yeah, I mean, it's so, like, I've spoken about this before, but it's so annoying because, like, all of the trains, they basically don't have the correct kind of pole. I mean, like, the Bakerloo, the thing that infuriates me the most is, like, the Elizabeth line does not have the correct coloured poles. Obviously it has the black poles instead of the lilac poles, and I'm like, they belong on the Northern Line. Like, it's named after a member of the royal family, for God's sake. Like, give some effort. There we go. Archway.
Terminates at High Barnet.
Yeah, but it's really, like, annoying. Like, I do like these design of tube trains, the kind of modern day sort of like, as you can see, the kind of modern day design of, like, a nice kind of tube train. There was, I think, a few years ago, a video out on YouTube, like, kind of displaying what maybe, like, a future prototype air intake tube train would look like. But, like, I don't think that would ever happen. I think that was kind of a bit cartoonish, basically. But it was cool to see, and it had, like, you know, it had kind of everything, you know, we'd expect nowadays on a tube train. Like, it had, you know, obviously the S-Stock has walk-through carriages, so it has, like, walk-through carriages, and it has like I think air conditioning and stuff, basically. So yeah, it was kind of cool to see, you know, what, you know, future generation tube train would look like. And I didn't know, like, kind of what line it would be on, but I guess kind of maybe Victoria, probably Victoria, or one of the new, like, lines, maybe the Elizabeth, actually, I'm not sure. But yeah, like, I don't know, it'll probably follow the correct kind of colour scheme as well. Like, Victoria, you know, the Bakerloo line, like, is correct, the correct kind of coloured kind of pole coloration. The Jubilee line now is correct with the refurbished trains, and the Central line is correct with the red colour poles. The Waterloo and City line is correct. The Victoria line is sort of correct because it has some light blue poles, but then it does have some dark coloured poles. I don't know why. I think the 1960s sort of had more light blue, and then it had, like, the Victoria line trains, they replaced it with, like, light blue and dark blue, basically. The Piccadilly line is, I think, 40% correct, because I think most of the poles are yellow poles, basically. But there's only a couple of, like, bits of blue poles in the train. They were going to do, like, a 2014 stock on the Piccadilly line. I don't know, like, you know what, I think it was going to be very similar to the 2009 stock on the Victoria line. But that never happened. I think it probably would have had blue poles. So we enter Highgate. This is actually a very... Bit more, please. There we go. This is actually,
This train terminates.
I think this is, yeah, this is, actually, I think this is our last underground station, but it's actually has a really long platform, as you can see. You know, you see some of these Northern Line platforms, you see they kind of don't really like match up to the route or like the kind of amount of stations, and this is not just in the game, this is actually in real life. You know, there's 6-car trains, which again isn't very compatible with some of these platforms. You know, like Charing Cross is very, you know, it's a very short station, and then you have some of these like overground stations, you know, especially in like kind of Edgware area that are like really short. And you know, like to my knowledge, I think Highgate is the only kind of underground station that has a long platform. But yeah, it's quite, you know, it's interesting because, you know, you look at those platforms you have at Clapham Junction, like the kind of island stations, and you have a lot of those kind of towards Morden and Kennington, and then you look over here at like High Barnet and you have those, you know, platforms that accommodate like an Elizabeth line train, which is like 9 cars. So yeah. The good thing, I guess, with those is, like, obviously, this is kind of more in the game, but, you know, you don't really have to kind of worry about going all the way up to the stock market. You know, we spoke about those stations like Goode Street in Euston, that they have, you know, those those kind of mid-sized platforms that can only fit this kind of length of train. And I do believe, I think it was only the 1995 stock and the C stock, which were quite long. And then I think, you know, the 1996 stock at one point was 6 carriages, but then I think in the early 2000s it got extended to 7 cars to facilitate more passengers. Because obviously the Jubilee line is a very busy line, so it met that refurbishment. And then other than that, obviously the Metropolitan line is 8 cars. And then the Northern line, yeah, most of the stocks on the underground are 7 cars anyway, so yeah. We're now outside. But it would be interesting to see like how many people like travel on the Northern Line per day. It's going to be in the thousands, being one of the busiest lines. But I guess the bank branch is obviously, yeah, the bank branch is obviously more, you know, it's busier with more kind of passenger volume. But yeah, it'd be interesting to know. I guess the Charing Cross branch is also quite busy as well, with, you know, because it's got like Charing Cross, Westminster. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see.
This station is East Finchley. This train terminates at High Barnet.
Lovely. Let's go. I think. Yeah, I don't know why East Finchley has 4 platforms. As you can see, I don't know if there's like a siding here. I know there's a siding at Finchley Central, because obviously trains for the Mill Hill East and Finchley Central, they do terminate there. But I'm not sure about Mill Hill East. It doesn't look like there's a kind of like depot here or anything, so I'm not sure. But you can see, like, even though, it's so funny, because even though this is actually made for BVE, like, the textures aren't well done or anything, like, these platforms, they look so, like, messed up. Like they're not, like, the textures aren't flickering or anything, but the platforms look so badly done, because I think this is actually meant to be going the other way. So if you went from, like, High Barnet to Kennington, it would probably look better, because the textures, I think, are adapted the other way round, just so you can look at the textures from a northbound point of view. But yeah, I guess I could try and get a screenshot of our train. I want to get a bit of the platform. Screenshots are often my weakness. Wait, yeah, they are on. I thought I'd accidentally turned the tail lights on. You can toggle the headlights, as you can see with 5. As you can see. But yeah. Where is it? Now we need to... No, I want to go a bit back. This is so hard. Like, it's so funny, when you go out like here, you zoom out, your train looks really nicely done. Obviously when you go in close, it looks so bad. Right, do I want to go, I probably want to go a bit up as well. This is so hard. I guess, yeah, I think that could do. Yeah, that's nice. I think the good thing with these textures is there's a lot in the way, so that, you know, you can kind of see a bit of the station. So, yeah, I guess that would be a nice picture. I'm not sure. Anyway, let's do a little kind of departure. Oh god, that's not the one I wanted. Yeah, there we go. Let's do a little departure kind of thing. Anyway, stand clear. I like how they close so slowly. I don't think that's realistic, but I like that. You've got green signal. But yeah, I think, you know, when you're underground, you kind of don't really notice a lot of this detail, because obviously, you know, there's not a lot of like kind of stuff underground. Like, sure, there's like kind of, you know, there's advertisements and things, but you don't get all of this nice detail you get. Like, look at this. This is like obviously, you know, the canopy of East Finchley. There's not loads here, but there's, you know, you get the underground signs, and it looks just a bit more kind of, just looks more interactive when you're overground. The textures I feel like are better. There's a lot of sparks, there's always sparks on the Northern Line. But then again, it's an old line. And our next station is Finchley Central, where you can change for the Mill Hill East branch. Like, I think, you know, Mill Hill East, you know, going back to like viability and stuff and stability on the Northern Line, like, I think the Mill Hill East branch is probably a good fit, because it's like, you know, it just helps trains to like even out capacity. You know, if they don't want to, or God forbid can't go all the way to High Barnet at, you know, the end of rush hour, I guess it's kind of a, you know, it's a good like a good period to have, like, you know, for trains going through. Like, I don't know how often trains go to Mill Hill East. Probably like once every 20 minutes, to be honest. This is probably a small station. But it's good to like have the, you know, if like passengers are going, you know, if it's, you know, very busy or what. Yeah, sure. But I like how this train has, like, the signal is, like, it's all in, like, kind of real-time sort of signalling, which is pretty cool. It has, like, you know, all of the signals are good, you know, they flash. I think, you know, the one I've got all green signals, because I think we're really late, but, like, they gonna, you know, if you are running late, they will all be green. But then, you know, if you're, like, running early or whatever, you have to, like, wait for the trains, and then they do flash, which is pretty cool. Obviously, you've got this is the only station on the Northern Line to have, well, in this area, to have more than 3 platforms, because it's obviously, sorry, more than 2 platforms, because it's obviously got the siding. Perfect, there we go.
This station is Finchley Central. Change here for Mill Hill East. This train terminates.
Oh, I keep pressing the wrong one. These cameras, I'll never. I swear I'll never work these out. They're so ancient and so old, essentially. Oh, do not get me started. Like, this station, literally, this station is so ugly. It's got a lot of detail and stuff, but look at it. Like the textures are all shit, and like I think with 3 platforms, it doesn't look too good. Basically, all of these textures are flashing as well, so it's not too good. But, you know, it's not like the best. Like, this train, I like the train. The design of the train is kind of nice, because it's, you know, it's like, it's not all kind of curved. It's not all flat, which is quite nice. I think, you know, it's like kind of snaking. You know, if you go to the front, it's not all like kind of like, if I just go and show you. It's not all, oh my god, where am I? Not this. Yeah, as you can see, the front is kind of like the shape of the train. Obviously, it's got like the doors, all of the deep level tube lines have like the doors kind of curving up onto the ceiling. So it's kind of like the train is kind of curved out, which is really nice. Like, you get some of these open BVE lines, like they're just a slap picture, like just slapped on the thing. we go. Yeah, but I like being in the second carriage because the camera kind of it moves around and it just looks a lot nicer. Like to be in, it just feels like you're much freer in the second carriage. Because if you go to the first carriage, it's like really static. Because I think that's where the camera's center point is located. So when you go to the first carriage, it's really like the camera doesn't move at all unless you move it. Like these cameras are so bad. Like they should really like update the cameras because like you move them a little bit and then they just like move constantly. It's like really, it's just really annoying. Where am I? Oh, that's fine. There we go. There we go. That's good. Yeah, it's a very old. These graphics are not very good. Like it's a very, I think it kind of gets like blocked by like the things in its way. Like the seats and stuff. So yeah. Oh shit. I don't know why. Like I always overrun at West Finchley. Like I don't know if I just go out and show you like it's so bad. Like I guess we all make mistakes, but I mean, to be fair, I could probably take that. I mean, my doors are all on the platform. Do you know what? I'm gonna take that because like basically it's saying I overrun by like 4 meters, but I think that's fine. Like that's true. It's not too bad. Like all of my doors, as you can see, are on the platform. So it doesn't really matter. They are kind of past the marker thing, but they're not past the signal. So we are kind of technically in the station. So it doesn't really matter. It's not too bad. There we go. Departing West Finchley. Next station is Woodside Park. There we go. Let's get going. It's a bit weird, like as you can see, it doesn't look like, I think we're going probably at about 40 miles an hour, but as you can see, it doesn't look like we're going very fast. I think, when I put the camera in here and we were in like the tunnel, it looked like we were going so fast, but then now outside, it just doesn't look fast. Got a lot of radio control going on in the cab. But then, I don't know anything, be a train that's crashed. But as you can see there, like that static AI train, you get throughout the route. They don't move or anything. They're just slap up model. Let's try and not fuck this up. Bit more. Bit more. Oof. There we go. That is perfect. That is what I'm talking about. Oh, no, we want... Oh, no, there we go, that one. That is good. Like, it's so funny because if I go out into the exterior, it doesn't look that good. It just looks really like that. Like it looks like I overrun, but I didn't. I think that was like overrun by something like 0.1 or whatever it is. But yeah. See, this station doesn't look nice as well. Like it's just a bit like these platforms are a bit like. They've got, I feel like they're just a bit like, they're a bit bland and they're not like, they're not done to the fullest extent. Whereas if you look at like the Jubilee line phase 3, there's like, there's no, like, none of the route will like not, I mean, like, I understand there's like limits to what they can do. But it's, like, when you put in it, like, the Jubilee line even has like a working dot matrix. Obviously the PE doors, they do slide open and closed in the route, which is cool. yeah, I think, you know, in terms of like, you know, the Northern Line I think is definitely the best route for Open BVE. You know, if you're looking for something that's, you know, really well detailed, you know, I think there's more detailed routes. I think the Jubilee Line I think is also the most detailed route, and then there's also like the Bakerloo Line and stuff. So if you're looking for a nice detailed route, I definitely recommend the Northern Line. Northern or Bakerloo, like they're both really detailed. Like you know, they both have like, you know, quite a few kind of like scenarios, and they both have the full route. You know, there's also the other routes, which is Edgware to Morden and Edgware to Kennington, which I'll probably do at some point. But yeah, it's been, you know, it's really good to like, again, show you guys this on camera, because like I haven't obviously done an Open BVE video in absolutely, it's been so long, so it's you know, it's been good to like to show you guys this again. And now we enter the station, which is the one with the funny name, which is the one I can never pronounce. Totteridge and Whetstone. I always pronounce it Wellstone, I don't know why. There we go. Oh, I thought we were going to overrun there, but like these brakes are really good. A bit more. There we go, perfect. Totteridge and Whetstone. Yeah, I don't know why, like, every time I go to, like, pronounce it, I always seem to, like, pronounce it Wellstone. I don't know why. But I love the kind of station names that, you know, they have two station names, like, it's, like, Totteridge and Whetstone, Wellstone, Totteridge and Whetstone, sorry. Like, because it's not just Totteridge, and it's not just Whetstone. Like, they've been put, you know, they've been amalgamated together. And there's also a few of those, like, with, you know, like, the South Western Main Line and stuff. You know, like Byfleet and New Haw. Really nice. The next station, sadly, is High Barnet. I'm really sad about that. I've really enjoyed driving this train with you guys and getting, you know, back into something I love doing. It's really nostalgic for me, because this was, you know, if you remember back to like July 2021, this was kind of, you know, this was every day for me. You know, I'd be driving the Northern Line route, some route, and uploading it to YouTube. And I know I should do more variation, but I'm literally addicted to the Northern Line. You cannot get me, you cannot prise me away from this line. It is so good. Do not let anyone tell you otherwise. This Northern Line route is really good, and and I'm just, you know, mesmerised just looking at what I'm looking. Okay, the textures might, you know, I'm not, you know, the textures are a little bit chill, you know, around, especially around this area, because I'm like kind of, at the moment I'm looking at like, there's nice scenery and stuff, but I'm actually looking towards like another train going that way, so they do look a little bit awkward. I think if you go like towards like kind of Kennington, I think they do look better, but they you know, they're bit questionable. But remember, you know, no guys, you know, you need to remember, this is an old game. It's, you know, the graphics are not the best. You will find better games out there. It's okay to have your own opinions, but if you don't like Open BVE, no one is stopping you. You know, there's Train Sim and Train World. I'm pretty sure I keep saying I'm doing Train Sim for ages, like probably Train Sim World 5 is out by now. I need to do some videos, it's just I don't have the right kind of equipment and resources to be able to do it, so Train Sim is a no-no at the moment, but, you know, who knows, you know, hopefully we'll get to do it soon. But, you know, you get to explore these kind of things, you get to move on. Open BVE is a kind of kids simulator, you know, you can drive at whatever your age, but it's kind of for kids, it's kind of a starter, because Train Simulator is, you know, it's quite difficult, so it's, you know, it can be hard to drive, you know, hard to drive trains, you know, in Train Sim, so, you know, but it's entirely your call. Let's do, I think, an external approach into High Barnet. Also, this has 3 platforms as well, so yeah, a bit down. I don't mind about like underrunning or anything, because like kind of like it's quite a long platform, so I'll be able to fit all of my doors in. Oh, perfect. Look at that. That is so... That is really good. That is really... I think that was a good stop. Oh yeah, I stopped a bit behind the stop marker. But I mean, to be honest, it's fine, because like all, you know, if you go back to the back, like that's some of these, like the only, like, they're a bit awkward, these northern, you know, these kind of subsurface northern stations, because like, you know, you think you need to go a bit back to facilitate the whole train, and then you like end up underrunning. So it's fine when you do it at these stations. It's just you got to be careful of those underground stations at like Charing Cross and stuff. Oh yeah, but this is the where is it now? Oh yeah, this is the I think that's the old Northern Line train. Oh, that's another just a static AI, but it's cool. You know, you can go inside it. You know, so it's got the same old kind of livery and old seating. So yeah, it looks nice enough. Yeah, then you've also got mine here as well, so yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. That was me doing the Northern Line yet again, and you know, I've really enjoyed it. It's really good to get back into this, and you know, like I haven't done this in ages, but you know, now I'm back on it. I'm back ready making videos with you guys on Open BVE. I've got a backlog of videos I need to do, so yeah. But yeah, just look out for those on trainmod.com, and I will see you guys later. Bye.